Hey, this is probably the last Civil War review you'll see because I take my time. I wanted to see it a few times before I actually had some things to say about it. So here we are. I'm sure we've all seen it, but I will start by just not talking spoilers. I will just give you my straight up thoughts, and then we'll go into spoilers and I'll let you know. So, Civil War, Captain America Civil War. Did I like it? Yes. Yes, I did. Did I like it a lot? Yes. Yes, I did. That being said, on the flip side, it does feel like, this is like another Avengers movie, but a good one. It feels great. And also, I don't want to talk smack on Age of Ultron. A lot of people are using this movie to talk smack on Age of Ultron. I liked Age of Ultron. I just didn't like the villain, but otherwise, I liked that movie a lot. My main concern here was that the big fight would be convincing, and at first, I struggled with it, like all the heroes coming together and fighting. At first, I wasn't convinced, but once I thought on it more, and I saw it again, and I paid like extra close attention, everything about this movie is great. Everything is pretty rock solid. Every character gets their time in the sun, some representation. We get our first look at the MCU Spider-Man. He is very great. Of course, he's awesome. He's perfect. It's really, and not spoiling anything, but Marvel's handling of Spider-Man is kind of a representation of how they handle all the Marvel comic properties in general. What they do is they take it, they understand what makes that character important, how they are, what they do, and then they kind of do their own thing with it. They make a story that they want to tell and that's worth telling in a movie that also, on the same side, respects the source material, but while also not being chained down by it and ruining it. They do their own thing. You know what I mean? So that's Spider-Man, and that's absolutely great, but every character got their own thing here. We got more of Bucky. We got some War Machine. I'm very happy War Machine got his time in the sun once again. You know, that character deserves everything because I'm a big fan. There was a lot of great stuff between the Vision and Wanda that I did not expect at all. And overall, it's a satisfying movie from beginning to end. I had a great time. It is so much fun. And like, there's so much stuff here for every type of Marvel movie fan that I think, obviously, you're all gonna have a good time. I don't really know why you're watching a spoiler-free review right now because we've all seen it. Like, I don't feel like I need to convince you or anything. So for now, I'm going to go into spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, please leave. Goodbye. Go. There's the door. See ya. Okay, now that they're all gone, holy fuck, this movie was really good. Okay, first things first, I mentioned it before, the big fight. The big fight in the airport when all the characters walk out in front of each other and they start fighting. First time I saw it, I was like, why are they really fighting? Like, you know, some of the characters have things with each other. Like, obviously, Black Panther really wants to kill the Winter Soldier for his reasons. Cap and Tony are going to fight because of their ideology. But ultimately, I was like, and then when Black Widow and Clint were fighting and they're like, why are we fighting? I was like, that's how I feel about this whole fight, you know? But I get it. The second time I saw it and the third time I saw it, I stewed on it and I get it. It's like, okay, cool. I get it. Like, they have to get past each other more than actually fight and kill each other. And I like that. And it made for a fight that, you know, it was good. It was fine. It was there. And it made sense, and it was a lot of fun. Not to mention Ant-Man getting his big moment, no pun intended. That completely surprised me. I didn't expect that at all. I also didn't expect the Marvel Cinematic Universe to do that at all. And they did it. And it was ridiculous, and it was hilarious, and it was great, and I freaked out. I guess what I really want to talk about, I know, like, Spider-Man was absolutely great. Captain America, of course, is awesome. The Russo brothers handle Captain America better than anyone else. But who surprisingly stole the show for me, goddamn, was Black Panther. Holy fucking shit. They did him so great. Everything about him. First of all, he's like the character that kind of got the best arc in this movie. He got a beginning, middle, and end with his character towards the end. He learned something, and that was really fucking cool. And he's also great. He has a hell of a screen presence, whether you had the mask on or off. He was so cool. Chadwick Boseman is badass. He's handsome, he's smart, he's suave, he's perfect. He's got that voice, he nails the voice, the look. I'm fanboying out a little bit because I really like Black Panther and I've been looking forward to this for years, but they did it. It's really great. He fights differently, he looks different. It's great, and I think it was a perfect little, like, extra chess piece to throw into the game, you know? Spider-Man, on the other hand, is completely great, but of course, with him, he could have been cut out of the movie completely and you wouldn't know the difference. That being said, I think this is the best way they could have done it. It's very interesting, and it was probably challenging, but they pulled it off. It's great. He only had a few scenes, but he's great. And oh my god, like okay, so like when he's like, where are you going, Tony Stark? And then it cuts, and it shows Queens. And I'm like, I know Queens. Why is it going to Queens? And then there he is, and he walks into his apartment, and he's Tom Holland is he's like this little cute boy. He's just there. He's like a baby, but he's so great, and it's just perfect. He nails like the vibe, the way he speaks, the nervousness, the excitedness, the nerdiness, but also the confidence and hilarity in him is just, it's really great. The scene between him and Tony was heartfelt. It worked. It was really cool. I really like the fact that Tony Stark is part of Spider-Man's origin here. I like that a lot. This is a young Spider-Man. He's just getting started, and Tony Stark is the one to give him his Spider-Man suit, and it works. It's so great. Okay, not only that, but when he shows up in the big fight, he's hilarious the entire time. He sounds young. He's quipping. He won't shut up. He's kind of annoying, and I liked it a lot. He fights great. He looks great. Hang on. One problem here, though. And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. No one else has said this, but he's almost completely computer generated. I hate to be like like shitting on things. That to me was a big problem. I did not like that at all. That was a big turnoff. I'm pretty sure he was 95% CGI, if not more. But besides that, I digress. He's fantastic. He looks great on screen. The fighting was great. The suit is so colorful. And I noticed like a little bit of spider sense. At one point, he was like in the station and he's looking at the camera and then his eyes widen and he goes, oh crap, and something comes from behind him. Spidey sense. Love it. Freaked out. Also, can we talk about that chase scene for a second? Because it's incredible. Because number one, shout out to being like the first time I've ever seen characters in a movie run super fast and it actually looks semi-believable. Number two, Bucky kickflips a motorcycle or what the fuck? And number three, Captain America like flips over a car and then runs out of the car while it's flipping over after him. It's amazing. I had a lot of coffee, so excuse me. But let's move on talking about Tony Stark and Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. Holy crap, okay? Jesus Christ, this guy is really acting this time around. And I gotta, like, when I was a kid, when I was younger, growing up reading the comics, Tony Stark never really, I was like, oh, Tony Stark, like Iron Man's cool, I guess. But I found Tony Stark boring. Of course, later on, there's the demon in the bottle thing, which makes him, interesting. But here, I think Tony Stark and what they've done with his character makes him so goddamn interesting and so like explicitly flawed. It's so good to watch, especially because he can carry it and portray it so well. This is a guy who's clearly not all right. He's flawed. He's got some PTSD. He's got some issues, and you can tell because he's hiding it behind his quick-wittedness. There are times where you see him kind of like grabbing his hand or not looking at Cap when he's when they're talking about the Sokovia Accords. It all works so good, and I am in love with Tony Stark, like the character now. Like, yeah, he's always been great. He's been hilarious and cool and suave. And Iron Man 3, they started to really work on things with him. But now, full force, man, he is great. He is easily the most interesting character. Captain America, on the other hand, I can't believe I didn't talk about Captain America, my favorite Marvel character. He's great in this movie again because, once again, it is very much focusing on him. It's his movie. I was really into seeing him fight Crossbones in the beginning because they teased that in Winter Soldier, and that was a character from the Brubaker comics that I liked, and I really freaked out about, and it was awesome. And they still have that like realistic like tangibility of Cap's fighting, like his punches, hitting people with the shield, and seeing him and Bucky fuck shit up was really, really good, especially in the end. Like, I only really got chills in this movie a few times, but when they showed them walking into the entrance of like the Winter Soldier lab, and it's like classic Winter Soldier standing there next to Captain America, and like Bucky's got like the cool Winter Soldier gun with the scope and the fucking thing, and I was like, this is it. This is awesome. This is exactly what I imagined, but it's so cool. It's hard to really give Captain America emotional stuff here, but it worked a lot, especially through just like the boardroom meetings and them actually discussing the Sokovia Accords. Like through his face, he's portraying a lot of this through his face, and that worked for me. Also, killing off Peggy Carter, I think worked incredibly well. The shock of that text message when he looks down, boom, that hit me. That's crazy. But he's also flawed himself. His goody two-shoesness kind of kicks him in the ass too, which is where the shit really goes down. Like the big fight on the airport scene is great. That's the one in the trailers. That's the crowd pleaser. It was a lot of fun, but goddamn, when the shit really hits the fan in the end, when Iron Man realizes that Bucky killed his parents, that's the fight. That's the Batman v Superman fight, like that we wanted. Like real shit behind this fight. And Tony Stark is clearly unhinged because he has so many of these issues, and he is willing to just completely unleash on Bucky and Cap. And it was rough, man. It was hard seeing these guys fight. And it's also like, like now what? Like I know like they have directions for the franchise and stuff, and I know at the end, Cap wrote him a letter that kind of seemingly makes things better. maybe. But they also kind of hinted at Tony Stark messing with like the electromagnetic brain therapy stuff, which in the comics is a thing. I didn't think they were gonna go that route at all because it is so comic booky, but if they do, that's really cool because they hinted at it. It's just amazing that they had all this stuff going on and I still cared about the conflicts between the characters here, you know? Not to mention all the stuff with Wanda and Vision, which was very short, but succinct and very good, and like really conveyed some things about these characters that I wanted to see, and they nailed it. Honestly, like one of my few complaints with the movie is I wish it was 2 hours longer. I just want more. That's it. I'm really excited to see where they're gonna go next. Now the fact that Steve has seemingly dropped the Captain America mantle, which I don't think they totally explained enough of his ideas behind that, but I like it. I like where it's going. At the very end, when he saves his buddies, he shows up as just Steve Rogers, which is cool. I don't know if they're going for like the Steve Rogers super soldier thing because S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't around. I don't know what they're going for with that, but I trust them because they take the things from the thing and make it a new thing while respecting the thing. So it's good. Usually. And then the after credit scenes were cool. It was exciting to see Wakanda. That was a big reveal. For some people, for a lot of people, I don't think that's like a big, huge thing. Like it's kind of underwhelming. But for me, since like I'm into the Black Panther stuff, to see Wakanda was really exciting. And it was good, I guess, for Bucky. He was like, you know, hey, I'm gonna go do the screenwriters a favor and go into cryo sleep so I don't have to show up in the next movie. And then the very end when they showed Spidey with his little the spider light, I forgot what it's called, but he puts it on his belt in the comics. That's cool. I'm into it. So I guess in conclusion, Captain America Civil War is definitely easily in my top 3 favorite Marvel MCU / comic book movies ever. Spider-Man is cool. I can't wait to see where he goes. War Machine was awesome because they gave him a sword for a second and that was really cool. And Marissa Tomei as Aunt May is like distractingly hot. I will be on Twitter and Facebook and even Snapchat and Instagram and all that shit talking about this stuff. And I'll be down in the comments, so I do want to hear from you guys what you think about Captain America Civil War. We got a lot to talk about. I'm really curious to hear from the people that aren't in love with the movie. You know, there are some people out there who just don't like this movie, and I want to know why. So if you are one of those people, I'm looking forward to hearing from you, as well as the people who loved it. Thank you guys so much for watching and clicking the like button and all that. And if you're new here, subscribing is a good idea. You should get it on the ground floor because this channel is still super small, and I could talk to all of you guys here while I'm on Game Ranks, and there's like way too much going on because we have 2 million subscribers now. It's fucking crazy. But that's it for me, guys. As always, I'm Jake Baldino. You can like me on Facebook, you can yell at me on Twitter, and you can subscribe because video games.